So hello everybody, welcome to the studio. We're here at Film Soho in London. I'm Julia Streets.
I'm Antoinette Raymond.
And this is the show called This Age. And we are so excited because it's all about ripping up the rule book for women over 50.
And harnessing the vibe of our tribe.
And we want to inspire the next generation of women and men, as well as recognise those who have gone before. I'm very curious.
Well, I did research. About 7 years ago, I looked up and all my clients were women. And that was a wonderful moment of just recognizing that that had happened naturally. But I took it seriously, and I stepped back and I thought, well, wait a second, is there something different about that? Is there something I should really research more about leadership in women?
And so, Antoinette, you and I have talked at length about different topics that women of this age seem to face. And you've mentioned a badass tribe. I'm very curious.
Well, I did research. About 7 years ago, I looked up and all my clients were women. And that was a wonderful moment of just recognizing that that had happened naturally. But I took it seriously, and I stepped back and I thought, well, wait a second, is there something different about that? Is there something I should really research more about leadership in women? And so I went to my tribe, and I have a tribe of about 200 ranging from age 18 to 80. And I asked them questions, and they kind of get me a sense of what's going on in the world. And I said, well, what does she look like? What does this woman look like? And as a researcher, this was exciting because I had 5 capabilities that came up unanimously. They were confidence. She shows confidence. She's inspiring. She's the queen of calms. And then these last 2 were fascinating. She is tenacious and she's resilient. And someone then said, really, that's the word gumption. And I love that word gumption, right? And gumption is defined as the ability to decide what is the best thing to do in a situation, do it with energy, do it with determination, and don't quit. Gumption.
So I think that our guest today, and I can't tell you how excited I am that she's in the studio with us.
It's ridiculous. We're so excited.
Just personifies gumption to her very, very core. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our amazing set, the wonderful Hi Money. Hi, welcome. So thrilled that you could be with us today, and thank you for taking the time. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, but I'm a bit nervous because I've spent my working life behind a camera. So this is a challenge for me, and I'm loving every minute of it so far, but it's only just started.
Well, we've been in hair and makeup, and we've had most incredible conversations about just even getting us into the studio. And it's
I'm in good hands. I'm in perfectly good hands.
And I tell you what, it's an amazing team we have here as well, which is phenomenal.
I agree.
So this is all about kind of ripping up the rule book of women over 50 particularly, but in your career, talk to us a little. So can I ask you a quick question on that? So I mean, at some point, the press pack that were down pitch side, that's hallowed area for them. They are getting the best shots.
I didn't know there was a press pack.
Okay, and what was their reaction to you coming in and going, I want to be with you, I'm going to be literally pitch side?
Oh, so what happened then was I decided I would phone the club and say, how do I sit close by? I phoned and I phoned and I phoned and I phoned. I left messages. Nobody answered, so I thought, I know where it is. I'll drive back then, face to face. If he says no, I'll accept that. So when I arrived at the club, this lady said, can I help you? I said, my name is Hi Money. And she kind of shriveled. And she said, I said, you're not answering my phone. I said, you're not coming back to me. Who could I speak to sit close by? And she gets on the phone. She said, you know that woman who keeps phoning with a funny name? She's here in person. And she puts the phone down. He said, send her up. So that's when I said, oh, thank you. I didn't know where I was going up to who to see. And then when I eventually saw this guy sitting on the steps, it turns out to be the manager. He was eating his soup I don't know why he was sitting on the steps. And I said, I want to know how I can sit close by. Because I want to get photographs and all these people are in my way. And he said, are you a photographer? And I said, no. Are you press? No. But I really want to know. And he said, with a name like Hi Money and a cheek like yours, for goodness sake, give this woman a pass and get rid of her.
Screwed it, nailed it. And it is a time, we talk about how there are times in our career, and you've been sharing some of them, where things didn't go so well. I mean, in fact, they probably failed or they went awry. But you didn't stop. You came back, and you somehow succeeded, and you nailed it. And you took it and didn't let it define who you are. We're wondering an example of that you would share with us.
I suppose the reason I went to the National Union of Journalists to protect me was because of the time when one of the Crystal Palace players was playing for England, and therefore he was playing at Wembley Stadium. So because I was covering that area, I applied for the photographer's pass for Wembley Stadium. And they sent me the pass, which I couldn't believe. So I bought 3 tickets for my sons, and we went off to Wembley Stadium. I saw them in their seats, and I said, do not move until after the match, do not. And I'm going to find where the press... This is the days before mobile phones and things. So I had my press card, my camera, my films, and I went into the press entrance, and the man stood there with his hands behind his back, and he said, you can't come in. I said, this is my press pass. He said, is there nowhere you women don't want to stick your noses in? This is the hallowed turf of Wembley. You are not allowed to come in. I said, this is high money, me. This is an official pass from the Football Association. And he absolutely would not let me pass. Now, other photographers were coming through. It was an international, so some wouldn't have known who I was. But the Fleet Street mob, as I call them, the hated Fleet Street mob at the time, they saw me, and I didn't like to say, help me out here, but with my eyes, I was pleading with them. They were walking past, looking down at me, they could see me, argy-bargy with this guy, and he's got his hands behind his back, tiptoe from heel to toe. No, you cannot pass through. And I had to sit outside the entire match, outside Wembley Stadium, crying my eyes out because they wouldn't let me in with an official pass because I'm female. It's so, you probably, anyone listening would think, well, did you not find, there was no mobile phones or anything. Where would I go to look around for a call box? Who would I ring? I haven't got the FA's number with me. So I then decided, so my children were looking, where's Mum? She's not here. So I was worried that they might come out early. However, that's when I decided I'm going to join the NUJ. But the interesting thing is that I was going to do the photographs for the local paper. And when I came home and I said they wouldn't let me in, so they just did a little tiny piece, is Wembley ban on high money discrimination or something or other. It was only a tiny piece in the local paper. And unknown to me that the MP for Croydon was the Speaker of the House of Commons, and he was a Palace supporter, and he apparently used to like seeing me on the pitch or something, I don't know. But I get a letter from number 10 Downing Street. We've read about this, and if you'd like us to give you some, to back you, we will, this is not right, and it's bad treatment, words to that effect. But I didn't want to follow that because I thought, oh, I'm not getting involved with MPs to fight my battles for me. And I ignored it. But I still have that letter. Next thing I know, I get an invitation to go to the Houses of Parliament. And the members of Parliament are now going to form a football team. And I think they call themselves the Westminster Wobblers.
I'm sorry. Right there, that's perfect. I love that.
And then they asked me to go to the House of Parliament because they wanted to let me introduce me to all the team. And I was just so excited. I was thinking, I can't believe that the MPs have asked me to be their photographer because they'd heard about me being banned and everything. So I turn up there and I've got the name of the person I've got to ask at St. Stephen's entrance, and there's the MP sitting there, and they were chatting, and there's no photography, you're not allowed to take photographs, fine. So they said, right, we've got to go out and meet the press now. So I didn't know that there was going to be a photo call. So now I'm going to St. Stephen's entrance, and I'm walking out, and all the members of Parliament behind me, and there roped off is the football press photographers. And I walk out from the Houses of Parliament, and one day, fucking hell, there's high money. High money.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I didn't know there was going to be a photo call. So I walk out with all the MPs, and they're there behind the rope. And if I weren't a lady, I would have done this to them.